Hello everyone, over the course of about 50 hours I designed this custom island in the island creator and fully furnished it. And also keep in mind that most of the time probably went exploring every island. But with that, I want to show you guys today what we've built. If you want to see a more in-depth look of me building each component, I'll put a playlist in the description, as well as at the card in the top right. But without any further ado, I think let's start at the bottom of the island, the research lab. This is a room I don't actually often come to anymore, because I don't apply many coatings. I never sharpen my tool and never install trinkets, and there's no real use to use the research station anymore, which is why I don't really come here often anymore, but I really like how it looks. So this was one of the more first complete builds we did, and I like the atmosphere here, it feels very cozy. Now building this in the island creator, man, was it a pain. You can see a bunch of random walls sticking through. And it's very hard to see finer details in that creator, so this looks very off, for example, since this was an open hole at first. And you have a little ledge up there as well, that I just noticed. This is also one of those places where I started using some shelves. It's kind of the only place I really did this stuff for some reason, and I don't know why. But it feels very complete, and it felt very complete right from the get-go. It was kind of difficult to put these brewing stands in here, because I kind of overfilled it, to be fair. That is the research lab. Then if we go outside, we follow the path along, and we come to a sewing/pigment station. So this is where we can create new clothes. We are currently wearing a linen, of course, because that is the best in the game. Pigment station, and it's all hooked up so it can work automatically, as it does right now. If I were to put something in here, let's put that in there. I think this is where I started more messing around with the leaf cloth as part of a building design. I think it worked out pretty well here. While I do think that it does work out well, I'm not 100% sure if I like this building or not. Fully made out of the trellis, except for the leaf cloth. What was I thinking? I do like this little overhang here, though, that goes over the sewing table. And then from here you can look up, and you see the insane contraption from the underside that is our helm. So what I tried to do with many of these builds, as you can see here, you see some little triangle pieces. That is for stability's sake. Now, of course, Aloft doesn't have a stability system, but I kind of like to make it semi-more realistic. You know, as far as realistic floating islands go that you can control. And that is what this whole contraption is about. In theory, I think, if the beams were a bit straighter and not as crooked, but that is very hard to do from down here, this would probably work and be stable. I'm not an engineer, so don't quote me on that. Then with the island creator, I also created this path. And that goes into our gatehouse. This separates the top from the bottom. Now this isn't decorated as much, but there isn't a whole lot of space to put stuff in this area either way, so that's why. Then instead of going out, there is actually a second floor to this building. If we go up these stairs. And this is where I have the map room. And also the sails, which is kind of a pain every time we go through a wind barrier and the sails get destroyed. I have to run up these stairs, fix them real quick. This is also where I keep all the atlas. We got 29, and I cannot use them in here anymore, so however many are on the map here, plus 29 is the total amount, I guess, in the world, as I was unable to find any others. But let's go back downstairs. And then head out this door, which goes to the helm, the top side this time. Or we just have the storm chaser, which I actually don't use, like ever. I think once to test it out, and that's about it. I think realistically you would probably use it for finding the Leviathan, but I found them by accident, so I didn't need to use it. The helm is a cozy little place. You have a place to chill and sit. Then let's see, we have a choice, going left or right. It is getting very misty, I guess we may as well go right and check out the house. So this house, it changed quite a bit. It used to have a grass roof and no tower, no chimney. I really like this window at the front here. Then we got a nice place to sit. And then when we go inside, We are greeted by a hallway, which is greeted by some sort of weird music room, because it looks more like a drum this way, or whatever those big ones are called that you bang against. And we got the living room. This is all very recent, so you see a lot more high quality items in here. I also tried to put more of the expensive stuff in the actual house. Then we got a storage room over here. I'll probably never use that, as we have so much storage just laying about the place. But hey, it is there if we need to. And there is an upstairs. And this upstairs has a little relaxing / dining area. But also, it houses the bed. And let me tell you, having to walk up 2 flights of stairs, or 3 flights actually, is a lot more work than just walking in the door and sleeping immediately. Especially since these are very thin stairs. For the outside though, I really wanted to change it once we had these shingle roofs, because my original concept, the roof was very flat at the top. I didn't like the 2 big windows, and even though we had some sort of square tower sticking out, it wasn't actually much taller than the roof itself, so it didn't really look like it was different. And I really like this. The tower could have maybe been a bit taller, but I think making it too tall for a house this size would have looked very weird. But hey, while we're outside here anyway, let's go to our right. This is the main storage area I got. This is where I store a lot of the stone, a lot of the wood, leaves, stuff like that. And this goes over to our farming area. Now this is filled with flax, and because you need quite a lot of linen at some point, and at this point I think I have way too much of it, so not really that necessary anymore. I tried to make this, it's a little jumping off platform, so we can glide down. I really wish we could connect these ropes up to the top there, because it just looks very weird like this. Our good old windmill, I actually turned it around, because most of the time the wind is coming from our backside, especially when we're flying. This actually makes it so I can use it. Then we got the flag that is totally like this, so it is going in the wind. And not because from this side it looked straight and I thought it was good. And then you come from the side and you're like, well, maybe I didn't place it as well as I thought I did. The bottom area of the farm. This is just a path and nothing more than that. Just a nicely decorated, relaxing spot again. That leads to the barn. And oh boy, let me tell you, the barn. Well, for starters, the front side looks different than the back side, and that was by accident. Because I tried to replicate it, and then I forgot these panels on the side. But all in all, I think that looks pretty good. Or maybe I'm coping because I fucked up. Who knows. Then inside, some sheepies. Also, I lost our dictator sheep. I don't know what happened to her. She's just gone. It's weird because I'm pretty sure she's the only sheep that's gone too. Which is kind of sad because that was our original sheep. I found her laying on the ground. We had to cure her, which I didn't. Up until you guys told me to do it. Named her and everything. And then actually at that point I had this funny idea of making it a more of a dictator-like sheep. And I wanted to slowly change the barn over time. I ended up not doing that, because afterwards there wasn't much interaction for the sheep, so I was like, well, if no one cares about the sheep no more, I won't be pushing this weird-ass idea I have. But yeah, now the sheep's gone. I don't know where it went. It's probably off in a better place, though, because there is no feeding tray up there. And I don't think they can die of starvation. And every time you reset the world, their hunger gets reset too, so I'm not 100% sure what happened there. We got some pheasants in here. I will be taking those feathers, please. Man, I've been spending a lot of time that they have 11 feathers laying about. So this side area, actually I haven't done much with this. I planted trees here and that's about it. Then if we move up the road, we come to a sawmill place. This was supposed to be a lumberyard, so my original idea with this was to have it a bit larger so I could grow trees here, and then chop them down as I needed to. It turns out that a space looks a lot bigger before you encase it in a wall, so that idea kind of fell flat. Also, these trees are here for a very long time and they haven't really grown. But I think that's mostly because they don't have the space to. But all in all, I really like this area. I love the fenced-in feeling here. And I think from the outside it looks pretty interesting too. So this was one of our technically newest buildings, or last building, if you don't count the rework on the house. This is where I create pottery. So we got the forge here. This is the only building that's made out of this material. The rest is either stone or wood, but I think it fits really well with the aesthetic here. And it actually fits really well with the stone as well. So on this side, where everything is stone and we don't really have any wooden buildings, unlike over there, I think this palette works out really nicely. Then on the inside, we get some storage for the pottery, for pigment, for terracotta blocks, and then of course the pottery wheel itself. But nothing too fancy. The roof on this thing was kind of a pain to make. Whoa. Because I tried to have this, and I think it worked out pretty well. It's just, there's nothing that fills up this space, so I had to place some custom beams down. Because the triangles didn't really work well on this. And with that we made it back to our gatehouse. We just got this little sitting spot. I'm really happy with this island and how it turned out. We got some nook and crannies here and there that are decorated as well. Now I will admit, once we're in motion, this base is starting to lag. So, not really great on that front, I would say. But other than that, look-wise, I'm very happy with it. And I can't wait to use it more with the upcoming updates. So according to the developers, they're working on a new content patch. So they kind of shifted from just bug fixing and stuff like that to making new stuff for us to play with, which is nice. I hope they're gonna fix the achievements soon though, because it is kind of sad that we cannot get 2 of them. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone.